Next, I'm going to give you a little riddle to think about while our next two speakers, and I'll introduce each of them. And don't answer out loud, especially if you know the answer. Hold it. And then at the end, you can see me outside. Please don't swing at me. But see if you can figure out the answer to the riddle. What do Attiya Latif, Emma Gerhold, and Kurt Conaway, that's me, have in common? And you can't say, oh, well, he was their teacher for AP literature and all that. No, 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 no. Think about it, right? Let that simmer. So, our next speaker, I'd like to invite to the stage our class of 2014 salutatorian, Miss Attiya Latif.
I love you!
I actually don't like movies, so let's do this.
Good girl. Good girl.
Parents, teachers, fellow graduates, and friends, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this celebration of 4 years of achievement. Today marks the end of a long, muddled chapter in our lives, and the beginning of a new one. Today is a day of both reflections of the past and resolutions for the future. Today, we take our final steps as students of Smithsburg High School and start off on a fresh path as citizens belonging to a world community. It's been 4 years, 4 long, confusing years of test scores and homework assignments, and enough essays, thank you, Mr. Conaway, to give us all arthritis by the time we turn 20. 4 years of wild highs, take that in the literal sense, and devastating lows, a kaleidoscope of emotions, actions, and dreams. We've laughed together, learned together, and cried together. And now, we sit here today, ready to take our final steps. It is soon going to be time to leave behind the bittersweet memories of our high school years and take our final steps to face the future. Since our lives are a lot like unfinished novels, I'm going to start off with a story. It's the story of a girl just a couple of years younger than ourselves. Now, put yourself in her shoes and imagine. She reads by candlelight in a barren, desolate village, populated by a rugged, rural people. She lives in fear of her most precious right being taken from her, her education. Every day on the way to school, she conceals her uniform so that the oppressive regime she lives under won't know that a woman is seeking an education. She risks her life to take what we take for granted every day, an education. Now this girl's name is Malala Yousafzai. Malala was shot by the Taliban for pursuing an education, for believing in equal rights and opportunities for all. As her lifeblood spilled out in the arms of her friends, she said that fear died and courage was born. She knew that no one would speak for her, so she empowered herself. She rose up and became an activist for women's rights, became the youngest person ever to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. We can learn from Malala. We live in a world of over 7 billion people, and I gotta say, there are a lot of them here tonight, this afternoon. There are 317 million alone in the United States. Amongst all these people, we want to be remembered for something. We want people to know who we are. We want to make our mark on the world. We etch our names on lab desks in chemistry and physics. We spray paint our names on High Rock, just to say, hey, I've been here. That's me. The point is, in order to be remembered for something worthwhile, we have to first empower ourselves. That's not to say that we shouldn't lean on our friends and family for help. When the going gets tough, Michael Seifert will always be there to ease our aches and pains with his terrible singing. Did I say Michael? I meant Mark, sorry. Dan Pasqua will always encourage us with a rousing God bless. And Nate Rockwell will always be available to squish flying insects on our heads. Jenny Fritz will always take the fall and allow us to spill things on her. No, actually, that's really just me. Sorry, Jenny. And Usman Qadri, nah, he's just gonna laugh at all of our problems. But the point is, at the end of the day, we have to rely on our own selves for motivation and success. Empower yourself. Because we as a class are capable of doing more than anyone could ever fathom. High school, when we were in it these past 4 years, was all-encompassing. Smithsburg was our entire world. And that's not a very pretty world. We walked the halls of Smithsburg High School as though we were traversing the plains of the universe. But now the world's just gotten a heck of a lot bigger. The same faces you see every day are going to be replaced by strangers' faces. And the social hierarchy you were once constituents of now no longer applies. What does this mean? It means that you have to think for yourself now, to think globally. You have to pick yourself out of the crowd and decide what makes you, you. Michael Jordan was kicked off of his high school's basketball team. J.K. Rowling's first Harry Potter book was turned down by not one, 11 publishers. Beethoven's music teacher told him he was hopeless. Mr. Conaway's first English paper was a failure. I'm just kidding. But each of these now world-famous figures endured, persevered, believed in themselves. And who are they today? A basketball legend, a national bestseller, a virtuoso whose pieces are timeless. An English pro who has touched as many lives as he has failed English papers. These people were just like us once, uncertain of themselves and the world around them. But they realized that at the end of the day, it was they who would write their future. Guys, I believe we can be greater than the greats. I believe we can strike out a whole new level of heroism, so long as we believe in ourselves and have faith in ourselves, like Malala did. Like all of these other amazing people did. I'd like to tell you one other story. It's the story of an old man and his grandchild. Now this old man loved his grandchild very much, so much so that every day after a long day of work, he would come home and sit right next to his grandchild and spend time with him. On the day that we follow their story, however, he was so tired because he had had a humongously long day of work. He came home and his grandson ran up to him saying, "Grandpa, let's play." Instead, he reached for a magazine, ripped out a paper that depicted a map of the world, and handed this map to the boy. He ripped it up into tiny little pieces and said, "Once you put the world together, come and play with me." Now, the man settled down for a nap because he expected this 5-year-old to take at least a couple hours. He hadn't had any lessons in geography, and it wasn't like he was Joanne Lee. To his surprise, in less than 5 minutes, the boy finished the map. When the grandfather said, "How could you have possibly finished this so quickly?" he turned the page over. On the back of the map was an ad depicting the face of a man. And the little boy said, "Once I put the man together, the world came together." Whatever it is you're planning on doing after you graduate and walk off this stage, whether you want to go to college, the army, the workforce, whatever it is you want to do, the future is going to be a time of self-discovery. We're not going to be spending the next few years like our last ones, focused on what others think of us. We're going to be spending the next few years putting ourselves together, matching the puzzle pieces of our lives until we can clearly see what it is we were meant to do. Once you put yourself together, you can find what it is that you truly love and use your passions to make a difference. Fellow classmates, I'm not going to sugarcoat this or pretend that we were fantastic or that everything was sunshine and roses. These past 4 years were tough. They were some of the toughest we've ever experienced. We lost people we loved, we failed exams and friendships, and we struggled to deal with the overwhelming complexity that was high school. We tried, we failed, but we ended up succeeding. Now, we're not the best graduating class that the school has ever seen. There were countless amazing classes before us, and there will be countless incredible classes after us. The achievements we've accomplished in high school don't make us unique. The awards we've won, the grades we've gotten, it's all just a blip on the screen of life. And records were set to be broken. But what will make us unique? What will define our class and set us apart as the class of 2014, the class to be remembered, is what we do with the tools we've been given. The world is at our fingertips. We just have to reach out and grasp it. And we have to decide now what kind of future we want to catch hold of. As Dennis Waitley said, learn from the past, set vivid, detailed goals for the future, and live in the only moment of time over which you have any control, now. Thank you for an incredible 4 years. Thank you to all of the teachers, administrators, my parents, my best friend Emma Garahold, and good luck.
Thanks for including me in that. I appreciate it.